What up guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So in today's video we're going to take a look at the first part of a song called Yellow Ledbetter by Pearl Jam. And this was requested and supported by Scott, so huge thanks goes out to him for the support. In this lesson we're going to take a look at the intro of the song, and also we're going to have an overview of the whole song. I'm going to show you general guidelines how Mike approached this very simple chord progression. But if you want to get into details of the song and learn, all of the parts, including the solo, the break, and the outro, check out the link in the description box down below. The lesson is available at GuitarForce.com. And with the download you're going to be getting the full lesson, all of the tabs, the backing track, and also the full playthrough of the song, which I'm going to post to my other channel, and I will also put the link in the description box down below if you would like to check it out. For this song I was using the VST plugin Guitar Rig. I'm going to show you the picture of the preset right now. And while you are checking it out, I'm going to play you my low E string. We're going to be in standard tuning, so you can tune up and play along with this lesson. Alright, so we're going to break up the song into parts. We're going to start off with the intro part. First I'm going to play it through, and then we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so what we have here, basically the whole song is based on these three chords. So we have E major, going to B major, and A major. So just these three chords. The only difference here is that we play them in these positions right here. So for the E, a lot of times we're going to be using the first inversion, which means it's this type of chord, kind of like Jimi Hendrix type of chord. So E with the first inversion becomes here. So, and we can play the low E string open. So then we have the B chord here and the A chord here. Alright, so the intro goes like this. We start off with the low E string open. Then we have this movement. So just a hammer on, a plain double stop on the A and the D strings, hammer on onto the major third here on the 11th fret on the A string, and then we pick the rest of the sort of the chord, the other double stop on the D and the G strings. Then we have muted strings, just hitting the muted strings. Then we have, so here we have a quick hammer on pull off. So basically fretting the first three strings on the 9th frets, and then quickly hammering onto the 11th fret on the G string and pulling off to the 9th fret. Then we have 11 on the D. Then we go to the B chord. So the first part, the E on the E chord, goes like this. Then we move on to the B chord, and he plays the bass note first, then picks, you can hear it slightly, but it's still there, that note on the D string, so the octave. Then he plays a pull off on the high E string, 9 to 7. And then picks the other strings, the second and the third strings, kinda lets ring out the chord. Then we have, so again, very quietly muted strings before hitting these two chords. Essentially it's one chord but with the added 9th here. So we hit the chord, just the B major, and then we add with the pinky the 9th. Then we move down to the A chord. So in B we have this slowly. Then we move on to the A chord and we play the next part, which is. So here in A we move down the same shape as we did with the B. We move it down to the A and we start the chord with a pull-off. Same kind of idea. So pulling off, playing the chord. This is the edit 9. And then we pull off to the root note on the high E string. Then he picks the other part of the chord, so you can play sort of like octaves. And then we hit the chord again, and this time we have a quick hammer-on pull-off, but it's gonna be on the G string, and it's between the sus4 and just a major chord. So if you hit other strings, that's totally fine. And we have the hammer-on pull-off, and then we again pick the note. So you can pick on the D string. It doesn't really matter that much. I mean, he's just playing on the chord, you know, all these hammer-ons and pull-offs. And if you get the other strings in there as well, that's totally fine. So then we pick another, the octave on the D string, and we have another hammer-on pull-off on the high E string. So 5, 7, 5. And then we have sort of like a dragging the pick across the strings, playing like a reverse rake. And then going to the low E notes, again, open low E string. Okay, so that's the first part of the intro. One more time, I'm gonna play it slowly. It goes like this. Alright, then we have the low E string ringing out, and then we have another phrase which goes like this. So here we're going to be using double stop on the high E and the B strings, 12th fret. We slide to the 14th fret, then back to 12, and then we have the 9th fret. But the main note is on the high E string, but if you get the double stop, that's totally fine as well. And then the last note is going to be on the G string, 11th fret, and we slide out. Sorry. Okay, and then we go into the second part of the intro. So again, we have the low E string open. Just like in the beginning, we have the same thing. Now here, instead of hitting once the muted strings, he hits them twice. And then, so here, we have a grace note, meaning a quick hammer-on. While you are fretting the first 3 strings, on the 9th fret you play the grace note, the quick hammer-on, onto the 11th fret on the G string, and the other notes ring out. Then back to the double stop, and then on the D string, 11th fret. Then we go to the B chord, and we have the following phrase goes like this. So here again, playing the bass note first, then we pick in the middle of the chord a couple of notes here on the G string, on the D string. Like I said, it's totally fine if you catch both strings. And then he plays. So again, it's playing on the higher register of the chord and playing 2 pull-offs, the add 9. To the root note, but while you are fretting the chord. So he does it twice, right? And then again. Then we move down to the A chord again, and we have the same similar idea that we did previously, but slightly different. So it goes like this. So again, starts off with the same way as we did the first time, so pulling off from the edit 9 to the root note, then the bass note, then we have, so here we have a hammer-on from the major third to the sus4, and then you pick the high E string, like that. Then pick again the 7th fret on G string, and then we have hammer-on, pull-off now this time on the B string, and then you catch the other strings of the chord as well. And then you play the low E string open again, and then we have, so from around 12th fret, the double stop, you slide it up, and then on the way down you have a slide out on the low E string, and then we go into the verse. So that's pretty much it for the intro. I'm gonna play the whole intro one more time slowly. It's gonna go like this. Alright, so after the intro we move on to the verse, and again the whole song is based on these 3 chords, and what he does is pretty much playing the chords as we did in these positions right here. So for the E, using this shape, for the B here and the A here. Now just to give you sort of like a guidance of how you can play this chord progression and what Mike is doing actually. So when we're in E, for example, now because we have this shape here of the E chord, the pentatonic shape of this chord is right here. So essentially it's the C sharp minor, the first position. And now because of this shape and using the first inversion, what he does is he uses a lot of notes which are from the first shape of the C sharp minor pentatonic, and just adding these notes, embellishing the chord. So you can use the first inversion, you can use that note here, you can use that note here. So he does that thing, you know, just playing a lot of hammer-ons, pull-offs, grace notes and things like that based on these notes. And of course using a very wide variety of rhythms. So when playing on the chord, you know, just using different rhythms with his right hand and embellishing the chord with the notes I just gave you, so based on the C sharp minor pentatonic. When we move on to the B chord, he uses the add 9, so on the first string. Then we have that note which makes the chord 6, so B6, and then we also going to be using the sus4. So all these 3 notes, you have the chord of the shape of the chord here, and then all these 3 notes, he's using them when playing during the chord progression. And now the variety of licks and embellishments, you know, there are a lot that you can play with just these 3 notes, additional 3 notes. And that's what he does. And also, like I said again, the rhythmical pattern for the right hand is, there is a lot that you can do, and you can see in the tablature that, you know, it's constantly just playing different rhythms. And the exact same thing applies to the A. So when we go to the A chord, again, the add 9, the 6, and the sus4, it's exactly the same as on the B. So, you know, you can copy exact same things, of course, varying them and using different hammer-ons and pull-offs and rhythms combined together, you create these different melodies. And as long as you keep the chord progression going on, what I mean is you stay, on the E, you stay for 1 bar, and then you go for B for 1 bar, A for 1 bar, then we return to the E for 1 bar, and then the whole chord progression starts again by using all these different notes, embellishments. That's what he does. So this is sort of like a general idea. Of course, there are some some phrases that he does during the song, and we're gonna cover them, adding some harmonics and things like that, or playing a certain pattern. So we're gonna take a look at that, but in general, that's what he does, E, using this shape for the B, using all these 3 notes embellishing the chord, and the same thing goes for the A. Alright guys, so that was it for this part. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also comment, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. If you'd like to continue learning the whole song note by note, check out the link in the description box down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time, and as always, let the force be with you.